Boom! And it's a loud one. Kade Phillips, Gerry Hamilton, a young man out of Fort Bend Hightower, flips his commitment from LSU to the Texas Longhorns. This is as blue a chip as you get, five-star guy. Cornerback, going to get a chance to play cornerback first and foremost at the University of Texas. 6'2.5", 6'3", 180 pounds, 24/7 long jumper, state finalist in the 200-meter. He is one of the best defensive back prospects, not only in the state of Texas, but in the entire country. It's a big one for the Longhorns. Tell us what you know about Kade Phillips.
Huge flip back. Look, because he originally came down to Texas and LSU, committed to Texas July 6th, had a change of heart, flipped to LSU August 18th. Then we got into late in the season for the Kentucky, leading up to the Kentucky game, and we reported, and it was planned that, hey, Kade Phillips is going to visit Texas unofficially for the Kentucky game. Then LSU got that squashed. Here you see senior tape of Kade Phillips driving through the pass catcher there playing corner. He also plays receiver, also returns kicks, kind of a do-it-all guy, but there you see his speed. So then that visit got canceled, and he put out an announcement he was sticking with LSU. But, look, Texas never gave up on it. The communication continued, and he ends up as a Texas Longhorn. And, look, I think at the end of the day, him getting a shot at corner at Texas was a big deal because his area recruiter, school recruiter is Blake Gideon. So Texas recruited him as a defensive back with a lean to safety. But I think Texas may have learned something from Kade Barron this year, and then they saw the senior tape, and they're like, there just aren't many better corners than this in the country, and so he's going to get a shot at corner at the University of Texas, and I think that's what Kade Phillips wanted because I think his parents have wanted him at Texas the whole time. I think they love the athletic academic combination at the University of Texas. For those that aren't familiar with his family, his brother, Kenneth Phillips, is about to graduate from Texas A&M, had a devastating knee injury that really derailed his career. But again, academic football combination led him to pick Texas A&M out of high school out of the Missouri City, Sugar Land area. So that's been a focus in this family in recruiting is the athletic academic combination. And I think the parents have always leaned to Texas, but I think Kade Phillips wanted a chance to play corner, and Texas is going to give him that.
Well, I think you bring up a great point. Kade Barron.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't say Texas didn't know if that would actually work, that experiment would actually work. And lo and behold, not only has it worked, it's worked surprisingly. I mean, he's a Thorpe Award finalist, right?
Yeah.
And so I understand exactly. And you watch him here on film, he's got great makeup speed, Gerry, because of the 200-meter. He's got the athleticism, 24/7 long jump. He's got the long arms. You can just tell from the video that he's a real lanky guy. He's got a lot to him that is big time. He also played a little bit of receiver, obviously, for Hightower as well. Gerry, how big a flip is this for Texas this late in the game, too?
Huge. I mean, huge for the class rankings, guys. This is one. This is a big one. This ensures, I think, Texas pretty much signs a top 3 class because this won't be the last guy Texas adds. You got, in this class. So I think this is a huge one from a national ranking standpoint. From beating LSU once again to get one of the top players in the Houston area, right? I mean, that 2022 class, A&M dominated Texas in the Houston area. Since that time, Steve Sarkisian's made a point to we got to do better in the Houston area. And Kade Phillips is a big one. That was a big one when he committed. And Bob, you said long arms, by the way. He has a 79 or 80-inch wingspan. So he's like a +6 wingspan guy. And he's got 10 quarter-inch hands. I mean, big features, long arms. This is a guy that's going to be 6'2", 195, 200 pounds, perfectly proportioned with those long arms, with ball skills. I think he's a much more physical player as a senior. Not that he wasn't before, but I think he took that up a couple of notches. But this is a huge win for the Longhorns. Now, because you look at it, suddenly this 5-man defensive back class is stellar. Caleb Chester is going to outplay his ranking at quarter. He may have the most football intelligence naturally of anybody in this class. Grayson Littleton out of Wiregrass Ranch, really good nickel/corner type of player in the Wardell Mack mold, maybe. Wardell Mack ended up playing nickel. Jalen Gilbo, a nickel who played some corner early on at Texas in that mold. Then you have now Kade Phillips, and at safety you have Jonah Williams, a 5-star, one of the best in the country, and Zealous Hicks out of Carrollton, Georgia, who reclassed to 25, one of the best safeties in the country. This suddenly, Bobby, where were we in July saying what's this DB class going to look like? Right now, it looks like one of the top handful of defensive back classes in the 25 cycle.
Well, Jonah Williams and Kade Phillips, both 5-stars, Jerry.
Yep.
Both
Houston area.
You talked about the need there. Caleb Chester from the Houston area as well. The other two from the Southeast. I look at it and say, okay, they're replenishing because they are losing a lot this offseason. We know that at least three, maybe four are going to head to the NFL starters. So it's time to restock the cupboard, as we say it here. I will add this, Jerry, a couple other things I really like about this. You want to win these type of battles, man. These are the types that if it comes down to the very last minute, if teams are fighting over guys this late, more than one team thinks he's really, really good.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that kind of gives you the sense of what exactly we're talking about here. How did it go wrong for LSU? Or was it something that went right for Texas, or maybe a combination of both, in your opinion?
I think it's a combination of both. I think maybe Brian Kelly, some of the antics didn't go over well necessarily, more so than a struggle on the field.
Yeah.
And then I think the flip side of that is, you know what? Texas saying you can play corner. So you combine those two with what we talked about earlier with that athletic academic combination. And the parents were really excited when he initially committed to Texas because it was close. It was close. That first time, I think Cade may have been leaning to LSU late before he committed to Texas. And maybe his heart was never really in that commitment to Texas, which led him down the path of LSU. And now we've seen that go back and forth. And now he's going to be a Texas Longhorn. But, Bobby, to that point, when Texas and LSU are battling back and forth on
for a DB, by the way.
DB.
Teams
Look at all the NFL guys at DB those two programs have produced in the last 10, 15 years. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I agree with you. Before we go, I got to say one last thing, and this is to you, Kade Phillips. Hook 'em again. Congratulations, young man.